I have been on YouTube 3 years this month. It's my YouTube channelversary, and I am not yet monetized. I have decided it's time. I need to put some focus and attention into this channel to achieve the goals that I have for it. And I'm going to document that process in this monetization journey series. I had every intention of walking today while I did this video, but there's two things against me in that. One, it's really, really hot. And two, I don't have a gimbal yet, and so I was afraid that things would be really shaky. And so I'm using both of those things as an excuse to sit here in the shade where there's a nice cool breeze. Since this video is outside of what I normally film, I thought it would be nice to be outside of where I normally film as well. I saw Jen over at Silver and Solo do this first, and that's what inspired me. And she gave herself 10 weeks to get monetized. I haven't quite yet decided what my time frame is going to be because I already have the 1,000 subscribers I need, but I still need watch time. She is also a YouTuber in her 50s. I am always happy when I find other midlife YouTubers because I think there needs to be more of us. And so I'm doing this series for accountability because I've decided that rather than just continuing to keep doing what I've been doing and hoping that I'll get there eventually, I want to be more intentional about it. And so I'm going to take some specific steps over the next weeks and see if I can make it happen. If you are just starting a YouTube channel, or maybe you've been thinking about doing it, and especially if you're over 50, and you want someone to walk this journey with, then I hope you'll join me. I realize that this is not my normal content, and if you're here for the normal content and this is not interesting to you at all, feel free to skip it. I'm still doing makeup content. If you came here for this content and the makeup and beauty content that I do has absolutely no interest to you either, then feel free to skip that. But I do intend to put up one of these videos a week, and I'm going to track my analytics and share that with you. I need to move because the sun is moving in on me. I have just a selfie stick tripod set up and the wind is kind of shaking it, so hopefully you all aren't getting seasick. I have not set a goal as to the number of weeks that I'm going to give myself to get monetized. I'm not very good at goal setting. I always worry that if I set the goal to be too soon, that I'll set myself up to fail because it's not realistic, but that if I give myself too much time, then I lose the sense of urgency and drive to make it happen. So I'm going to give it some more thought, and by the end of this, I'm going to nail down a date for how long I want this series to be. I've already said that I've been doing this for 3 years, but I also thought about doing it for 2 years before I actually pressed record. I think my tripod is gradually sinking, so this could be interesting. Anyway, so as I said, I started my channel 3 years ago, but I thought about it for 2 years before I actually did it. I discovered the YouTube beauty space in 2018, and I learned so much. There weren't a lot of over 50 creators at that time, and so I learned a lot from those in their 30s and 40s. But I discovered when I was in my 50s that the skin in your 50s is way different than the skin in your 40s. And so I had to learn how to do everything again. I had pretty much gone through my 40s without wearing makeup at all. And so when I learned all of that, I wanted to share that knowledge with others who were also coming upon this realization that what we used to do just didn't work anymore. I often wonder where I would be now if I started back in 2019 when I first thought about it, rather than waiting until June of 2021. But that's water under the bridge, and we can't go back. We can just go forward. And that's what this series is all about. I didn't know anything about YouTube when I started. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to film. I don't know what that noise is. I hope you guys can't hear it too loud. Hopefully my microphone's picking up me and that's in the distance. I didn't know how to upload or make thumbnails or any of it. I had to learn all of it. And I loved the challenge of it. I like all of the research and the learning and that sort of thing. When I started, I didn't tell a soul for 2 months. I didn't even tell my husband and my daughter, people I live with. And you might wonder why I didn't, but I was a little embarrassed, I think, about starting a YouTube channel. And also telling somebody felt like I was committing to it. And I wanted the freedom to just stop if I didn't like it. And I didn't want to have to explain why I didn't like it or anything. So it might not have been the best thought out decision, but it was where I was at the time. And so then when I actually liked it and decided, okay, yeah, this is something I want to continue, I did tell my immediate family, but I still didn't tell extended family because I wanted my growth to be organic and not from people who just subbed or watched because they felt like they had to. And so I grew really slowly at first. I have to keep raising my tripod because it is slowly sinking. I started with no equipment, just this Samsung A71 that I am still filming on right now, and a south-facing window. A couple months into my journey, a friend sent me a ring light, and I used that small, I believe it was like a 10-inch maybe ring light. Wasn't very bright, but I used that until about a month ago when I replaced it with an 18-inch really bright ring light that has just kind of transformed everything, because I fought shadows and it was hard to film at night and all that kind of stuff. About 2 years in, I think I did add a couple of LED table lights, and then with that and the ring light I could actually film at night. What a concept, but you could still tell it was nighttime. I tried several different microphones over the years. They all were budget. Some of them were cheap and they didn't work, didn't last. They had a hiss, they didn't sound very good. I am pretty happy with the one that I'm using right now. And like I said, one of the reasons I'm not walking is because I don't have a gimbal. I'm currently researching those because I think I would like to be moving some in these videos. It just seems a little more relatable, a little more relaxed. So that's probably going to be my next purchase. I will have the equipment that I do have listed down in the description box. And if you are just getting started and want to see a place to start, maybe that will be helpful for you. Part of this monetization journey has been kind of going back to the beginning and thinking about, why did I start this in the first place? And what do I want this to be? And so I was thinking about success, and what does success mean? What would that look like if I had a successful YouTube channel? And a couple of things stand out to me, and one of them is just continuing to love this process. And I do. I think it is so much fun. I am a performer. I am a performer at heart. I started dance when I was 3 years old. I was in show choir in high school. I got involved in community theater in my 40s. And I just love the performance aspect of this. And unless you're doing a faceless channel, there is performance happening. I didn't know anything about being on camera, though, when I started. I have watched camera present videos, and just doing it, you get a little more comfortable. When I first started, my daughter would listen to my videos and she'd say, "Mom, you're using your YouTube voice again." So even little things like that, like not putting on a voice, but actually talking the way you would talk to a friend. That's all part of camera presence. And those are some things that I might get into in this series because I don't have that mastered. I feel like sometimes I'm too stiff and I need to just relax a little. And so that's kind of what this being outside is. I'm trying to see if that helps, kind of thing. But success to me is also like helping people like me in their 50s figure out who they are in this new time of life. Fairly soon I'm going to have an empty nest. I know a lot of people in their 50s already do, but I had my last child when I was 41. Life for me for the past 30 years was being a stay-at-home mom, taking care of my kids. 24 of those years I was also homeschooling, and so this channel has had a lot to do with helping me figure out who I am now, and I want to share that journey and help others along that journey. And I think it's difficult for women in our 50s to feel confident and feel seen. And that's why I think it's important for this community of creators, those of us in our silver years, 50, 60, 70, and beyond, to continue to grow and to support each other and just be out there. But I also want to connect with people who are also creative. And for a long time, I ignored that side of myself. And I lost something really important when I did that. Since I have gotten back into teaching dance and theater, and yes, doing these YouTube videos, I feel more me. And so I want to help other people find ways that make them feel more themselves. And also success is having my channel be self-sustaining. It is difficult as a makeup and beauty channel. I would imagine in a lot of different niches it's difficult because when you're small you don't get PR. So if you're going to review a new product, you're going to have to buy it. And that can get expensive. I made the decision early on that I was not going to be primarily a review channel, that there's a lot to talk about in the makeup and beauty space without having to purchase every new latest release. But it's difficult because the new product review videos are the ones that get lots of views. So there's a balance there. But not just self-sustaining income. I would like this channel to provide income towards our household budget and maybe even some mad money or play money. Just a little note here, and maybe a little controversial, but I do not think it's a bad thing for YouTubers to get paid for their time and effort. They're providing a service, whether that's entertainment or knowledge or distraction or whatever, the platform is free to use, and the offset to that is ads. When we were kids, we watched TV, and there were going to be ads throughout because that's what paid for the programming. If as a user you don't like the ads, you have the option to pay for YouTube Premium so you don't see them. I also think that paid sponsorships can be done ethically and with integrity. I have not had the opportunity to do any paid sponsorships yet, but I would consider them for a product that I believe in or that I have or would purchase with my own money. So that was really long-winded, kind of an intro to me, who I am, what I'm about, that kind of thing. But the point of this is monetization, and so let's talk about that. The requirements for monetization is to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. The requirements for shorts monetization is different, and I'm not going into that because while I have done some shorts, I don't really like them and I don't really do them anymore. They're great for getting subs, but the shorts watch time does not count for those 4,000 hours, and you have to have so many watch hours in order to get paid for a short, and the pay is very, very minimal. The thing is, those 4,000 hours have to be within the previous 365 days. And so if your channel is new and you haven't been around for a year yet, all of your watch time counts. But once you hit that 1-year anniversary, you start losing watch time on one end as you gain it on the other. So every day that moves forward, you are losing watch hours for days that fall off when you gain it. So if you had 40 hours on this day and you gain 50 this day of this year, you only get a net of 10 watch hours. And that is kind of the purgatory I've been stuck in for a little while. Now, the answer to that is for me to figure out ways to create content that people want to watch longer and more of, so that I am putting more watch time in than is coming out to the bottom. It's kind of like filling a bathtub with the stopper pulled. But my growth has stagnated, so something I'm doing isn't working, and it's time to figure out why and do something about it. So I'm going to cut to some analytics right now, show you where I'm at, what my past 7 days looked like. I am going to put these videos up on Monday, but my analytics will be as of Saturday because I have to cut this off so that I can get it edited and get this up for Monetization Monday. I like the alliteration, so I think that's when these videos will go up. All right, so starting here at my dashboard, you can see that as of today, June 15th, I have 1,174 subscribers. That is only a net 2 in the last 28 days. Moving over to the analytics page, the default is 28 days, and I'm going to change it to 7 because I really want to focus on my week-to-week changes. And here you can see that my net subscribers in the last 7 days is up 3. So my net 2 over the month was negative until this past week. Starting over here at views, I have 615 views in the past 7 days, which is about the same as the previous 7 days. That's affected greatly, of course, because I only uploaded 1 video. My watch time in the past 7 days was 54.7 hours, which is actually 12% more than the previous 7 days. And so that's kind of where I'm starting from. If we click here on the Content tab, this one shows views and impressions, and I really want to avoid these sad gray down arrows. My views were about the same as the previous 7 days at 449, and my impressions were down 66% from the previous 7 days. Now, impressions aren't something that I have figured out how we can really control. That is based on YouTube showing your videos to people. And sometimes I have 12 or 15,000 impressions, and sometimes I have 2,000 or 3,000 impressions. So other than having videos that do well pretty quickly after upload and having a higher click-through rate, I'm not sure exactly what prompts YouTube to show some videos more than others. The other thing is, when you have a small channel and you get a lot of impressions, you're probably going to have a lower click-through rate because your denominator is bigger. So some of my best videos have click-through rates under 1% because they have 15,000 impressions. But then I don't know if YouTube sees that click-through rate, and so the next video I put up, they show less. In general, though, I try not to get too lost in the analytics because I can kind of fall into analysis paralysis and spend too much time going through my analytics and not enough time just making content. When I first started, my goal was 1 video a week because I was really busy and that's all I could commit to. Occasionally, I would be able to get an extra video in, but it wasn't something that I was doing consistently until back in November. I decided that I was going to do 2 videos every week. And then in December, I had really good growth. And that's when I hit the 1K subs. In the history of my channel, I had never seen the growth that I saw in December. And then in February, I started doing a weekly live because people said, if you do a weekly live, your watch time will be better because you get all that watch time at one time. And yes, it kind of helped. And it's nice because there's no editing or anything like that. But it also became very difficult for me to have that set aside time and be able to be there every week. So I'm still going to do lives, but I'm only going to do them maybe once or twice a month. I really did enjoy the interaction with my subscribers though, and I feel like I got to know some of them a lot better. May was rough. Most weeks I only got 1 video done, and I can see the slowdown and the stagnation in my growth. Currently, as I said, I do makeup and beauty content. That includes get ready with me's, panning content, new product reviews. I also do some household things like decluttering, and I've done a couple of vlog style videos. I watch a lot of Grow Your Channel and camera presence videos. Some of my favorites are Jessica Stansberry, Nate Black, vidIQ, Think Media, Ali Abdal, and there are others in there too. I also use some of those tools. vidIQ, I use the free version. I do have TubeBuddy. They had a special for small creators that you could get it for like $28 a year, so I did get that plan. I use Canva Pro for my thumbnails and other graphics within my videos, and I just switched to Filmora. I'd been using NCH's VideoPad, the free version, and I love the navigation features that it has. It's so easy to move around within the timeline, but in the free version, the titles and transitions and stuff are really limited. So I just upgraded to Filmora, and I feel like I'm back learning how to edit all over again because it's just not the same, and I'm much faster in VideoPad. So I've actually in my last couple of videos done a rough edit in VideoPad and then extracted that and put it into Filmora so I could do the transitions and stuff. I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it or not, but it's kind of been working while I get my legs with the Filmora. I wanted to use DaVinci Resolve, but my laptop doesn't have the resources and to run it. And so if I update my laptop, I might switch over to DaVinci Resolve. I'm working on getting a little bit better with each video. And so this series is to help me document what it is I'm going to do, give myself assignments every week, and do something different rather than just doing what I've always been doing and hoping eventually it happens. So this is kind of an intro, background-ish kind of thing. So week 1's assignments, I've kind of already started. I want to go back to the beginning of some of the things I did when I first started my channel. And one of those was, what is your why? I want to dig deeper into that and reevaluate, is the why that I started with still the why I have today? I also want to go back and look at who my ideal audience is, and do I still want to do makeup and beauty content, or do I have other things to offer that I would like to delve into? That's all going to be part of this, and to just keep learning. So week 1 assignments are go back to my why, go back to my audience, and set some goals. Okay, so I said I was going to set a timeline by the end of this video, and we're about there. So I just went and looked at my calendar, and 8 weeks brings us to August 12th. I thought about 6, I thought about 10, and so I compromised on 8. Okay, so I'm speaking it out loud for the accountability, and my goal is to have my channel monetized by August 12th. If you're new to my channel and you are here for this content and you're taking this journey with me, I would really like it if you would introduce yourself down in the comments, say hello. I would love to go check out your channels. I'm always especially happy when YouTube recommends a new, smaller channel that is a mature content creator. So I hope I make some new friends with this new series, and that we all reach our monetization goals and our YouTube goals. And if you are new and you're taking this journey and you want to do week 1 assignments with me, then examine your why, set some goals, and figure out who your audience is, and let's talk about it. See you next week.